So I told him, if you try to serve me any of that fizzy yellow shit, you'll be drinking my fizzy yellow dick water.
What's curled up your ass?
I'm getting tired of waiting.
Waiting for what?
You're on like your fourth beer each. Some lying bastard promised me that every woman is just 2 beers away from girl-on-girl action.
Fellas, can I suggest something for you?
I don't care. It all tastes the same. Just give me the cheapest stuff you got and a couple of pitchers.
Yeah, we don't have pitchers here. We have some growlers, but they're just for takeout.
How the fuck am I supposed to funnel anything if you don't have any pitchers?
Well, we're not really big on people funneling in here either.
What are you, a bunch of pussies? My liver is crying out for a beating like a battered house bitch, and you, a bartender, are refusing to perform that simple yet sacred duty?
I'll tell you what. I got a shit bucket out back. How about I fill that up with some cheap swill and let you slurp yourself silly on that?
How about I let you slurp yourself silly on my plump veiny cock?
Is there a problem here?
No, Sam, we have funnelers here today. Why don't you show them what we do to funnelers around here?
Sure thing.
Ooh, bitch likes to play rough, does she?
No, but we do.
Let's go, dogs.
Have to say, Breadster, you built a real institution in this nether regions of nowhere,
I can't take all the credit, Reverend. It's always helpful to have the good Lord on your side.
Amen to that, my friend.
Wicked! Each and every one of you! You're sipping the serum of Satan, riding the booze bus with Beelzebub straight to perdition! Wicked, wicked, wicked!
Looks like Nurse Ratched forgot to strap in old Gertie again.
And you! You're the worst one of them all! How you perverted your sacred calling by engaging in this liquid heresy!
Fellas, can you see to it that Gonzo Gertie gets home safely to the bridge that she lives under?
Wicked! Whores of Hades, slaves of sin, go on, drink up! Gulp down the nectar of the netherworld! Chuggle up for Lucifer!
That is one whacked out bitch.
Thanks for the lift, Brett. Yeah, I don't know how you stay sober surrounded by all that beer for 12 hours a day.
Well, I guess it's the same way you manage not to run off to Tahiti every Sunday with that big collection basket.
How the hell do you think I pay my bar tab?
Hey, I won't ask if you don't tell.
Hey, do you ever think we'll see you on Sunday? You know, it's only an hour out of the day.
Well, we have our own little happy hour every day. That's got to count for something.
Yeah, it sure does.
You're a good man, Brettster. Yep, I'll see you tomorrow.
Good night.
Good night. But be careful now.
That'd be normal. What? Well, how? Oh, fuck. Alright, thanks.
God. Reverend Mick. I still can't believe it. He didn't even seem sick.
Yeah, well, at least he went to sleep. That's how I'd want to go.
What did he order the other night?
West Mile Triple.
Excellent choice. Though when I go, I think I'd want my last drink to be a strong stout of some kind. Maybe Dogfish Head's Worldwide Stout?
That's nice.
I wonder who the church will get to replace the good reverend.
I don't know. But that bar tab, it's gonna be one tough act to follow.
Alcohol is the jism of the devil, straight out of the loins of Lucifer. Every time one of us ingests that satanic semen, it fertilizes the eggs of evil inside us, spawning little baby Beelzebubs, a new generation aching to suckle on the teat of intoxication. Every night, Lucifer's legions pray at the altars of iniquity, more commonly known as saloons, bars, or pubs, as his deacons of darkness dispense the nectar of the netherworld. Folks often ask me, Reverend Patrick, how do you know all this? Well, my good friends, I have cracked the code. I've got Satan's number. Yes, I do. And since you've been such an obedient flock and have supported Reverend Patrick while others have chosen to frolic in Sodom and Gomorrah, I'm going to share my secret discovery with you. Just remember these 3 simple words: bar, pub, salute. These, my friends, are what you call acronyms. BAR, B-A-R. Beelzebub awaits rebirth. Every time one of us goes into a bar, we awaken the sleeping serpent. Pub, P-U-B. People under Beelzebub. Pretty self-explanatory, don't you think? Saloon, S-A-L-O-O-N. Satan always looks over our numbers. That's right. As soon as you set foot into that saloon, you become a part of the flock of the Prince of Darkness. And he from then on becomes your guardian demon, guiding you through sin after sin. Now I know what you're all thinking. Reverend Patrick, my town is overrun with these synagogues of sin. What can I do to restore righteousness in my humble little village? Well, I'm glad you asked. For a nominal honorarium, I'll gladly take up residence in any local church that needs to rid itself of this dreaded affliction. Just write me a letter explaining why your town needs Reverend Jimmy Patrick, put it in a sealed envelope along with the appropriate funds, and mail it to the address you see on your screen right now. Alcohol is the jism of the devil. Alcohol, 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 alcohol. Sodom and Gomorrah, Sodom and Gomorrah, Sodom and Gomorrah, Sodom and Gomorrah.
Wicked.
For a nominal honorarium.
Wicked.
For a nominal honorarium. Honorarium, honorarium, honorarium. Evil, 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 evil.
Motherfuckers!
you in touch with some local mortgage agents.
No, I'll be paying in cash.
Are you sure you wouldn't like something a little closer to town? You're pretty isolated out here in the sticks.
No, this will be fine. I want to be as far away from those liquor-swilling vermin as possible.
Holy shit!
What?
Well, it looks like the church has a new preacher.
Oh, that was fast. Didn't even wait for the worms to start chowing down on Reverend Mick.
The operative word being worm. They got the Reverend Jimmy Patrick.
The prohibitionist? Fuck.
So we're not gonna have to save Reverend Mick's stool for him.
You were saving Reverend Mick's stool? That's gross.
That's why I love you. It's that highbrow sense of humor of yours. That's all we need in this town is another dry crusader.
I wouldn't worry about it. It's not like he's running for office or anything.
Fuck me sideways.
Is he even a resident of this town?
Well, apparently, as of last month he is. He rented a little shack out in the edge of town to make this little power grab legal.
My good people of Brewster, very recently this community suffered a most tragic loss when your beloved Reverend Mick exhaled his last breath and shuffled off for the Lord's kingdom. And might I add, it was far, far too soon for such a departure. The coroner's report ruled it natural causes, an explanation with which most seem satisfied. But I'm here to tell you that there is nothing natural about the cause of the good Reverend's death. It was alcohol, which I submit is anything but natural. It is the very essence of unnatural. It is unholy. Night after night, my dear departed brother of the cloth would stray further and further from the Lord's flock. A passenger on Satan's chariot, disguised as a bar stool, carrying him deeper into perdition. A destructive detour from his righteous path. Now, I do not judge the good Reverend for his liquid transgressions. He was but a mere pawn in Lucifer's grand deception. And that is what makes his untimely passing so much more tragic.
Now, we all miss Reverend Mick, sir, and that's why today I'd like to introduce a resolution to name a street after him in honor of his memory.
My dear distinguished colleague, sanctimonious gestures are not the best way to honor his memory.
What, in your opinion, is?
Abstinence! A complete ban of the toxin that claimed Reverend Mick's life. That is the only way to ensure that his death was not in vain.
Sir, as noble as your intentions are and as compelling as your argument was, I just don't think that a measure like that would have enough votes on the council.
Fortunately for all of us, then, I have done my homework. The mayor has the authority to introduce a special referendum on such a matter, giving the good people of Brewster ultimate power over this issue. And exercise that power they will, 1 month from today.
I can't believe you're so calm about this. In 3 weeks we could lose our livelihood and you're just taking off for Europe.
Well, if I don't go on this little trip, we're not going to have any livelihood. And besides, you know, it's the moral obligation of everyone in the beer business to take a pilgrimage to Belgium at least once in their lives and see how the monks do it.
Great. Now he decides to find religion.
Well, fine. You go, and I'll stay here.
No, it's fine. Leave me to deal with the rioting and looting that will surely occur once this town goes dry.
Well, that's not going to happen. You seen how many people hang out in this place? It's not even going to be close.
Well, at least you sent in your absentee ballot. Didn't you?
Gotta go! See you in a few weeks. Try not to burn the place down!
No, I'm sure the angry fundamentalist mob will take care of that.
Hey, I'm back!
Hi.
Hi. Did you miss me?
Oh, sure.
I'm sure. How'd everything go without me?
Splendidly.
So Belgium. It's a country the size of Maryland with no distinguishing topographical marvels at all. It's just all about the beer, the beer, the beer. It's like religion there. These monks, they're crazy. They live for it. Check this out. Me. Brother Gerard. I learned to brew like a monk. Okay, what?
Nimrod! 1 vote! 1 fucking vote!
begin to tell you guys how sorry I am.
You certainly don't need to apologize, does she, Brett? Two-minute warning, everybody. Get him now before the letter of the law leaves us high and dry. Well, that's the last of the keg, Sheriff. Not a drop of beer left.
You know I hate to make you guys do this. I know you haven't broke a law in your life.
I almost disemboweled my business partner earlier. Does that count?
Well, under these circumstances, hell no. I want you to listen up. This Reverend Patrick of ours, he's a wily SOB. You know, he says he's working with heaven, but he brought nothing but hell upon this town. Did you know he ran around and dug up information on me and my whole department and the town council? He's trying to keep us in line, and that shit ain't right.
Isn't there anything you can dig up on him?
No, he's pretty clean, all right. He's about as untouchable as a 13-year-old choir girl. Have you guys ever considered opening up a new place right outside of town?
We haven't had time to think about it, but it's not likely. The next most populated area is at least 100 miles away. It took us years to build the loyal following we have at this place. We're starting over from scratch. Less than scratch. We don't have anywhere near the capital that we did when we started this place up.
Sure is ironic.
What is?
Well, we get this Bible thumper come into town and outlaw all the alcohol, and the only legal place to get a drink under the new law is at a church service. God, just think about it. All the piss-poor wine you could drink on a Sunday morning. Well, just hold me back.
Yep. It's too bad the good Lord didn't turn water into beer.
Right. You know, even 2,000 years ago, old barley and hops been getting it in the ass from that almighty grape. The more things change.
Well, look who's alive. You know, our livelihood is swirling somewhere in the town shitter, no thanks to you, Brett.
What in the hell is he doing?
I have no idea.
Well, praise the Lord, now it's official.
Have you completely lost what's left of your mind?
I don't think so.
How is this even legal?
Loopholes. Look, if we want to stay open, we need to rethink our whole business model here. And that means embracing a more spiritual calling.
And it's really just that simple.
Glory be to the interwebs. Hey, you want to be Mother Superior?
No thanks, I'm already stuck with the superior motherfucker.
Samantha! You watch your language. We're now in a house of worship.
I still say this is a crazy idea. Who's gonna buy it?
Didn't you ever read your fermented history books?
No, must have missed that assignment.
Well, during Prohibition, vintners and merchants in California used to disguise themselves as rabbis so they could legally hawk wine. This is no different.
Oy vey.
Mazel tov.
What's this?
Wardrobe.
You're kidding, right?
Not at all. The only way we're going to make this work is if we convincingly sell the entire package. And that includes proper clergy attire.
Where did you get this?
Party town.
Party town? I thought you said you're trying to convincingly sell it.
Well, Priests R Us was closed. No, that one's mine. Mine.
Oh no. No, hell no.
No what?
Are you fucking kidding me? This is vinyl.
So?
So it's vinyl.
I don't know. I thought it would be cool, like Sister Act meets The Matrix.
We are so going to hell.
Today's inaugural service will begin shortly. We are presently awaiting the arrival of Her Holiness, Sister Samantha. Sister Samantha!
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today in celebration of what I believe the exalted Benjamin Franklin said was proof that God loves us all. Beer.
May your cups runneth over! Now let us rise for the presentation of the gifts.
One, thou shalt not drink yellow, mass-produced, flavorless, macro-brewed swill. Number 2, moderation is thy master, thou shalt not binge.
Okay. This beer style originated in the British Empire in the 18th and 19th centuries, when an abundance of hops and higher alcohol content preserved it for its long journey to slake the thirst of the soldiers stationed in India. We all know it as IPA! Very good! Now, the IPA that comes from this brewery is available in 60, 90, and 120-minute varieties. Dogfish Head! Very good! Those with Dogfish Head, mark your cards, please. This next is a Belgian-style white ale, or Wit. Good. Now, this brand is not from that brewery out in Colorado, which shall remain nameless. Boo! Thank you. This one is from Maine. Allagash! Correct! I love this game.
Bingo!
We have a winner! Let's all drink to his good fortune.
Three, beer is superior to wine as a cheese accompaniment. 4, thou shalt pour thy beer in the appropriate glassware. 5, thou shalt not frost thy glassware. We hereby commit thee to the ground, earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, in sure and certain hope that that which is empty will once again be filled. This keg hath kicked. Thou shalt clean thy draft lines regularly. 7. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's pint.
Now, I know we spoke on the phone before you came down today, but let's reiterate the core of the problem, just so we're all on the same page. Let's start with you, Jordan.
Well, Minister, it's pretty simple. I'm an unapologetic English ale aficionado, and my better half here is Belgian beer's bitch. Now, I know we should have talked about this before we were married, but it was going so well, and everything happened so fast. When we came back from our honeymoon, I was unpacking wedding gifts, and there it was, his secret stash. A case of Belgian Abbey double ale.
Don't even act like I didn't find your 6 of extra special bitter, that lousy, limey swill.
That's because I was hoping you'd learn to love real beer.
Here we go again, cutting off my balls.
Not that there's much involved in that little task, let me tell you.
You know, just go listen to Coldplay and watch your freaking Harry Potter.
You go watch the Smurfs with a waffle.
Please, please. The secret to any successful marriage is the same as the secret to some of the world's finest beers. Balance. It's important for each of you to maintain your individuality and still be able to enjoy your favorite world-class brew of choice. It's just as critical, though, to meet in the middle. That means occasionally compromise. Now this here, a little home brew of mine that contains the finest English hops with a rare Belgian yeast strain and some coriander and orange peel. I like to call it the Bierst of both worlds.
Tonight, I'm gonna make you fish and chips and shepherd's pie.
Tomorrow night I'll make you mussels.
I love you, my happy honey muffin.
I love you too, my little barley bear.
8. Before thou wasteth, thou shalt tasteth. 9. Thou shalt always have a designated driver.
I'm so disgusted with myself, I can't even look in the mirror in the morning. I'm dirty. Dirty!
Please, please. Self-flagellation is for members of that other church. I will need you to own up to this horrible sin and tell me what it is before I grant you absolution. Take your time.
I was at a party and I met a man. And then we went into an empty bedroom and
Yes, my child.
we shared a bottle of pale, yellow, mass-produced, flavorless light lager. Oh God, I want to slice my tongue out just for saying it.
Now. None of us is entirely free of such transgressions. This is what makes us human.
But I'm dirty.
You are not dirty. Just temporarily tarnished. Nothing is irreversible. For your penance, I'd like you to drink 2 Scotch ales, 2 Belgian triples, and 3 Doppelbocks. Not all at once, of course, but 1 per day for the next week.
And then?
And then you'll be absolved, my child.
Oh, I don't know how to thank you.
Oh, your penitence is thanks enough. Now, is there anything else you'd like to confess?
Oh, well, I did give him a hand job.
And number 10. Thou shalt always tip thy server. They taketh care of you. You should taketh care of them.
So, anything else to say, Miss Dowdy McDowderson? My little brainstorm has built up quite the empire for us.
Yes, most impressive. Although, laws of probability being what they are, after a lifetime of fuck-ups, you were bound to do something right. Now please, let us share with our brothers and sisters the sign of peace.
Liquefy their blasphemous balls!
Gertie? I'm afraid there's nothing I can do to their balls, or lady parts for that matter. As long as they're running a legitimate religion, they're not breaking the law. There's nothing I can do.
We'll see about that, fuck bubble.
Why, hello, Gertie. What brings you to my humble quarters on this fine...
Save it, preacher man! I need you to do what I paid you to do.
Gertie, I can assure you that no alcohol is flowed in this town since the referendum.
Fuck the referendum!
Gertie!
Shut up! I can barely hold my titties up. Can't expect me to hold my tongue.
As you wish.
There's wickedness still afoot in this town!
As you receive this rite of passage at this most sacred and legal age of 1 and 20 years, I ask you, young Michael, do you reject Carrie Nation and all her works?
I do.
Do you denounce the prohibitionist agenda?
I do.
Do you support the culture of moderation and the philosophy of drinking less but drinking better? Thereby rejecting all cheap, flavorless adjuncts in favor of only the finest ingredients and recipes that regard art over economics?
Damn right I do.
Then, young Michael, we hereby beeritize you in the name of the hops
And of the yeast?
and of the malted barley.
Hey, friggin' men.
Blasphemers!
Now, Reverend. Intolerance of the religious beliefs of others is very unchristian.
Don't you, whore of Babylon, presume to be well versed in the good Lord's teachings.
Brett, don't be a hero! Reverend, this is a legitimate place of worship. No more or less legitimate than your ministry.
I'd say more.
I would heartily beg to differ.
Well, regardless of your opinion as to the integrity of this establishment as a legitimate place of worship, according to the law, it has every right to operate as such.
Yet again, guardian of Gomorrah, we're at a factual impasse.
What's it, Bible thumping time now?
This you cretinous Christ hater.
No, he's just gonna assault us with alliteration.
If I may.
You may. You may June, July, and August for all I fucking care.
I hold here not the good book, but a fairly decent one. This is the municipal law book, which includes that visionary ordinance prohibiting the consumption of your ruinous liquid.
There's no need for that. I have a copy of the act right here myself. Right down to the part where it says that a house of worship, like this fine establishment, is exempt from the prohibition.
Well then, since you took the time to study the letter of the law, you no doubt read the section that, for purposes of taxation and other fiscal matters, defines a religious institution as one that neither acts as nor promotes a profit-driven corporation.
Well, since you've done some homework of your own, you'll know that every penny that we make here goes to operational expenses or charity.
That may be true, but I'm pretty certain that every penny that these businesses make do not. And since you have been acting as a promotional agent for these purveyors of poison, you are, in effect, serving in a commercial capacity, thereby negating your status as a place of worship.
So we'll take everything down.
Would that it were that easy. See, because you've been engaged in marketing activities since your religious sect's inception, its very existence from day one has been rendered null and void. Not only does that mean your operation owes mint and back taxes, after all, you were never technically tax exempt, it also makes the proprietors of this establishment felons of the most egregious kind.
When can I start the old sluggerino?
Patience is the most paramount of virtues, Gertrude. First, I'd like to have a word with the local defender of the peace. Hello, Sheriff. I don't need to tell you that you're setting a poor example by consorting with these common criminals. But I'm not one to cast the first stone. As long as you perform an act of penance by escorting these band of blasphemers off these premises.
And if I don't?
You're a young man. It would be a shame for you to end your career in law enforcement now, thus forfeiting your pension, not to mention your baby girl's college fund.
Okay, you heard the man. Everybody out. Service is over. I don't expect you to ever forgive me for this.
It's alright, Ed. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Can I now? Can I now?
Not yet, Gertie, please. Now, I'm sure you've thoroughly read the Brewster Alcohol Prohibition Act, so I don't need to remind you of the penalty for its violation.
Why don't you refresh my memory, Reverend?
Well, I guess you haven't thoroughly read it after all. Please, allow me to recap. In addition to the immediate, pardon the term, liquidation of your poison peddling business, you will have to pay a minimum fine of $250,000. Don't worry, we'll give you a couple days to locate your checkbook.
250.
Not a fucking again. Useless!
Okay, the shithead fainted. How about now, cockblocker?
Batter up, Gertie.
Finally! Eva!
It just doesn't seem to be anything physically wrong with him. It's as if he's in a deep state of denial.
He does this. He's just never sunk this deep before for this long.
Well, the good news is, it'll probably wear off sooner rather than later.
Well, let's hope for later. He's into denial, I'm into avoidance.
Where the hell am I?
I assure you, you are quite far from hell.
Who? What? What? You look kind of familiar.
You can say I've been a constant presence watching over you?
Your brother Gerard.
Yes, that is correct.
What? How?
Are you aware of the reason that Brett came to visit us in Ghent earlier this year?
To get the beer that you brewed exclusively for our bar.
Silly. That was only part of his objective. You see, Brett had received the call.
The call?
Yes, the call.
On the phone?
Well, the medium is not important.
Marshal McLuhan would beg to differ.
Pardon?
Sarcastic reference, never mind.
Oh, I see. I do not understand your references to rock and roll or to pop culture or to What is this fucking Funzy program?
I don't think that's what it's called.
But I do have a soft spot, I must admit, for this Archie Bunker and for, how you say, the Fat Albert cartoon with the hey meathead.
So can we get back to what this is about?
I'm sorry. Brett, you see, had received a call to join the most sacred of orders, a secret society, if you will.
The Stonecutters? The Freemasons?
Merde. The Freemasons are not fit to nibble the polyps from our rectums. They fall to their knees in our presence.
Well, you think they'd have to for all that nibbling?
You make a joke, but it's just not a very funny one. I am sorry. Anyway, moving on. You see, we are the Order of the Copper Kettle. Or, if complicated phrases confuse you, you can simply refer to us as OC.
So are you some kind of home brewers association?
Homebrewers. Could the Silly Beer Club topple monarchs, or could the Silly Beer Club find the lost Ark of the Covenant, or build the pyramids, or could a Silly Beer Club pick up dry cleaning after 7:30, or have the manuscript for the 8th Harry Potter book?
She only wrote 7.
That is what she wants the world to think. She wrote it just for our members, exclusive.
So, what are you exactly?
We are the global defenders of artisanal beer.
Okay. No offense, Obi-Wan, but what can a bunch of holy men in robes do for us?
This is Brother Gustav and Brother Francis. What? You think all we do is chant and self-flagellate all day?
I think you mean self-flagellate.
Excellent.
What is it?
We have found yet another town that has suffered under the cruel influence of Reverend Patrick.
Another one?
Ah, yes. We've been following his exploits for some time. He is beer's public enemy #1. You see, when Brett came to visit us, he told us of the referendum and your inner fire and anger for his not voting absentee. We, of course, told him you were right, and that this was, how you say, a very dumbass thing to do.
Yeah, I would have used more colorful language to describe it.
Well, Brett is a very colorful fellow, which is why we like him despite his flaws. He tells funny jokes, too, even the ones that deal with breaking of the wind, or how you say, farting.
Delightful.
Ah, here, Odell, California. 7 years ago, Reverend Patrick was called to replace a local clergy member.
Sounds familiar.
Yes, it is a pattern. This man here, Michael Hardy, owned one of the most popular brew pubs in all of Northern California. Until, of course, the Reverend Patrick came to town. The Reverend Patrick used the drunk driving arrest of the local mayor to convince the government to ban alcohol entirely. Here, 2 short and miserable years later, he changed the bar into what? Coffee shop.
Well, at least he was able to salvage some sort of business out of it.
Salvage. Salvage. You try competing with 7 Starbucks in a 5-block radius. He soon loses business, and subsequently his mind.
Oh, no.
Yeah. We are not so worried about you. It seems that you are strong and sensible. Brett, not so much. He is very fragile up here. But you see, prohibition is just the tip of the iceberg. After that, hotels, restaurants leave, other businesses close. It is like a shock to the system of a town that takes for granted the jobs and revenue beer provide. But it's bigger than one bar. This Reverend Patrick, he is vampire, moving in the shadows from town to town, sucking the blood and stealing its very soul. Et pourquoi? Some misguided ideology, or perhaps cash from his sheep-like followers?
Well, on the bright side, it doesn't seem too likely that he'll ever get reelected.
My very simple yet interesting friend. He will not care. He will simply move on to the next town. But we will not let that happen. We will get you your business back, and we will stop this Reverend Patrick once and for all.
Have I told you how fucking useless you've been these past few days? No? Well, when you wake the fuck up, I'll be sure to tell you. Do you have it?
Oh, yes, we have it. But first, where is Brett?
Upstairs, but good luck trying to get a reaction out of him. He's been out for days.
You can leave that to Brother Gustav.
Come on. What's he doing?
Please, let him do his work.
Nothing's happening.
Sam, could you get him a change of clothes, please?
Is he gonna be okay?
This is quite normal, really. He's going to be fine. It'll take a couple hours.
Before we begin tonight's meeting, let me direct everyone's attention to this most exquisite model on the table before you. This model of our beautiful town was a gift from the Brewster Arts and Crafts Society, who've left no detail unaccounted for. And I'm ever so humble that they've seen fit to include my little residence right here on the outer edge of the map.
Oh, how quaint.
Might I introduce Miss Samantha Garrett, proprietor, or should I say former proprietor, of a defunct den of iniquity called Abnormal. And with her is her partner in depravity, Mr. Brett Simcoe, who I might say has seen better days. Are you here to provide me with a certain check?
Oh, I'm afraid that no such transaction will be taking place today, Reverend.
Miss Garrett, where are your manners? You haven't introduced me to your robed companions.
Attends, Reverend Patrick. You will become acquainted with us soon enough.
And when will that be?
When we reveal your lies.
Such as?
Such as the ones you told about the death of Reverend Mick.
I can assure you there was no lie to tell. There was a quite conclusive link between the good Reverend's untimely demise and his proclivity for fermented beverages.
That is bullshit.
Profanity may be your best defense, my dear Samantha, but as it happens, the facts are mine. Would this do? How about this one? Or maybe this one? These are the leading medical texts taught throughout these glorious United States that illustrate in the most scintillating of details how a human being is better off licking the anuses of all of Satan's demonic minions than to have a single sip of an alcoholic beverage. Now, is that something that anyone on this God-fearing earth can dispute?
As it happens, I believe that we can.
Mine's bigger than yours.
What is this?
What you have before you is the county medical examiner's report on the death of Reverend Mick.
How did you get this?
I have friends at the county hospital.
This looks legit. Says Reverend Mick's death was ruled a heart attack based mostly on family history. In fact, it looks like he managed to live even longer than most of the others in his family with heart conditions.
Remember, there is something else that runs in families, and that is alcoholism.
Alcoholism. We thought you might say that. That is why included in all of your folders are the medical histories not only of Reverend Mick, but of his stricken family members as well.
Yeah. Teetotalers, all of them. Except Reverend Mick. He liked a good beer every now and again, and I can't say I blamed him.
And do you see any indication that the beer that Reverend Mick drank in any way contributed to his death?
No, quite the contrary, actually. It says here that the doctors believe he drank just enough that night to calm his nerves and lull him to sleep. Reverend Mick was a chronic insomniac, apparently, but his moderate consumption of beer that night ultimately saved him from the pain of the attack that would have inevitably taken his life that evening.
So, any assertions that Reverend Patrick makes that the moderate consumption of alcohol in any way contributed to his death?
Reverend Patrick is full of shit. Oh, sorry, brother.
It appears that someone may have bribed medical officials in order to keep that information under wraps.
You'll never prove that.
No. Perhaps we cannot. But I believe there is something else that we can prove. What you all have before you now are copies of the investment portfolio of the good Reverend Patrick.
What? Wait, how'd you get that? That's personal finances. Don't look at that.
Actually, Mr. Mayor, public officials are required to disclose all private holdings.
Well, very well then. You'll see that I have nothing to hide anyway.
You may find something of pertinent interest on page 4.
Huh. Says that Reverend Patrick owns 5,000 shares of Behemoth Brewing Company.
Well, that's preposterous.
Good afternoon, Porter Investments.
Hey, Mikey, what have you got for me today?
Hey, Reverend, how's it going? Let's see. ESB Technologies. That's pretty hot right now. Trading at 25. Probably going to be 100 in a month.
Buy it. 2,000 shares. What else you got?
Well, there's Stout Petrochemicals. That's trading at...
Buy it.
Damn, you're easy.
You made a lot of money for me, Mikey. To hell with Eve Hunt. You're the one I'm listening to.
We will find out what we can about this stockbroker, Mikey. And then perhaps we will pay this wretched turd a visit. No? You are the pig fuck stockbroker, Mikey, no?
Who the fuck are you? What are you trying to do? I haven't done anything.
On the contrary, Mikey, I believe that you have. It seems you have a great many extracurricular activities, no? One might say you are quite the insider. Let's say by accident, some evidence of this were to find its way into a manila envelope, and this very same envelope, combined of course with the proper postage, found itself in the hands of the Securities and Exchange Commission by pure accident.
Fuck you!
We have tapes as well, Mikey. You wretched turd. Tapes of you making phone calls to this very short and famous man in New York who participated in a historically relevant Ponzi scheme.
You don't have shit.
Perhaps I could persuade you if I were to take the soles of my outrageous white shoes and grind them into your testicles, popping them like grapes into the tortured, empty sack of your scrotum.
No, stop! I swear, I'll do whatever you say. Stop, just stop.
What we want from you is minimal. We only asked that you sell shares of this company to the good Reverend.
What's a good word, Mikey?
Well, it's called BBE. From what I've been hearing, it's going to be pretty huge. A behemoth, you might say.
Buy it. 5,000 shares.
BBE. Behemoth Brewing Enterprises.
Motherfucker.
So, Reverend Jimmy Patrick, probably the country's biggest anti-alcohol crusader, is a major stockholder in a brewery. You can't make this shit up.
Aside from my admittedly poor judgment in selecting financial advisors to guide me in my business affairs, I don't see how any of this is relevant.
It is quite relevant. For you see, you earn investment income from a company that produces alcoholic beverages, illegal by the very referendum you champion.
Which makes you just as much of a criminal as we are.
And not to mention total douchebag.
I, of course, will divest immediately of my shares in that devil water. And resign my post as mayor, effective at noon tomorrow.
I hereby introduce a resolution to accept Reverend Jimmy Patrick's resignation as mayor.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Very well then, motion passes. Reverend Patrick will vacate his position as of noon tomorrow, and a special election will be held 1 month from today to determine his replacement.
It's all very well. I look at this as more of a retirement than a resignation. The goal I set out to accomplish has already come to pass. This fair town is completely free of alcohol.
Yeah, but laws can be changed, and now that everyone knows you're a stinking fraud, you should have no problem getting the support we need to overturn the prohibition.
My dear Samantha, you are neglecting the minutest of details. You'll see in paragraph 4, section B of the law that was enacted by the good people of this town, a vote to reconsider this ordinance cannot be held until a period of 20 years has passed since its enactment.
What the fuck?
I may be a simple man, but what I am not is a simple-minded man. Do not think for 1 second that I did not foresee a time when enough support could be gained for repeal of such an ordinance. So, when, upon success of my referendum, it came time for the town governing body to draft it into law, I made quite sure that such a possibility remained as remote as could be. I admit it was a bit of a compromise. I had originally lobbied for a period of 100 years, which many regrettably found a bit excessive. Still, I think in 2 decades' time, these good citizens will have forgotten the mortally sinful allure of alcohol. Indeed, an entire generation will have come of age, never knowing such beverages ever existed. So, although my unintentional transgressions may have forced me to step down from positions of authority, my legacy will live long past the time I will have otherwise voluntarily retired. And while the ordinance remains on the books, you are subject to all of its terms and all of the punishments associated with transgressions of said terms. And I believe there is a certain matter of a fine. What was it again? Oh, yes, $250,000. Now, I know what you're thinking. Reverend Jimmy, you are guilty of a similar transgression, so why should you not be held accountable? Well, I will have you know that I do not believe I am above the law, and I am as subject to its penalties as y'all are. But as humble an individual as I may be, I am a man of means. I venture to guess the same can't be said for you good people. That's a real pity. A bona fide crying shame. Wherever will you get that kind of money?
No!
If you are quite finished, I'll take that check now.
I'd like to request a 24-hour extension.
D9, tomorrow's a public holiday, and these fair halls are regrettably closed.
If you would allow us that small grace period, Your Excellency or whatever, we'd gladly deliver it to your cabin.
Oh, all right. You have 12, not 24 hours. I shall make collecting what you owe this town my final act as mayor. I'll expect your knock at my door at 8:30 a.m., not 1 second later. Well, I see you brought quite the entourage for your little deposit. Were you afraid your check would get liberated from your sword clutches by Robin Hood's merry men?
I'm sure you're familiar with the town surveyor.
Hey, Sally, how you doing? What brings you to these rural outskirts of our beloved town with such unsavory accompaniment?
She's here to prove a little theory of ours.
And what theory would that be?
That you're not even a legal resident of our beloved town.
That is hogwash. As humble as my domicile may be, I can assure you it is quite legal.
Yeah, we'll see about that, fuckstick.
Nice to see you in good spirits again, Mr. Simcoe.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see you licking my ass.
Okay, cut it out. Sally, it's all you.
Would you please explain to me why it is you keep wasting my time?
Paragraph 10, Section H of the Town Charter reads, referenda may only be brought by legal residents of Brewster Township.
What does that have to do with me?
Sally, mon chéri, explain to the Reverend.
11 inches.
Pardon me?
That's how far over the town line your little hovel here is. You're actually a resident of Grover Township.
Well, that can't be.
Oh, I assure you. Yes, it can.
Why, you must be using an outdated map or something.
Sorry, I downloaded the most recent one this morning.
And as non-residents may not call a referendum.
The referendum never happened.
Surely a member of my flock in Brewster could call for another referendum?
What, and follow the lead of a complete fraud? Besides, the only reason that your referendum passed by one vote is because
I'm the total dipshit that forgot to send in his absentee ballot.
He's right.
And with the town now out one eligible voter, Reverend, even if you were to retain the support of most of your cluster flock, highly unlikely at this juncture, we'd still win by one vote. That is, provided my dipshit better half could get his head out of his ass long enough to cast a ballot. Oh, and I have a favor to ask of the town council members.
I make a motion to render the referendum null and void.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Excellent. Motion passes.
I guess it's never too early.
Nope.
I don't quite know how to thank you, brother.
There is no reason to thank me, brother.
Congratulations. Looks like that whole property thing worked out pretty well for you.
Let's just call it divine intervention. Are you sure you can do this?
S'il vous plaît, we have hacked into places much more secure than this town surveyor's office.
Oh, I think he's in. Yes, that's the town line. Can you move it over?
But of course.
How far do you think we should move it?
About 11 inches. Sally, let's get the fuck out of here.
I'm in no mood for gloating.
I'm not here to gloat. I'm here with an invitation.
An invitation to what, dare I ask?
To get the stick out of your ass that's even bigger than the one you're sitting on and come have a drink with us.
Here you go. You ready for a real religious experience?
I don't really know if I should. It's the ultimate hypocrisy.
No, mon ami. It is the ultimate redemption.
Praise the Lord!
In the name of the Father, let me tell you, son, I know you're working hard all day. Ain't one place to go when the day is done, and put your drinking cap on and come this way. Now step up to the altar, say yourself a little prayer. I put a pint of something frothy right in your hand, well that's redemption in the air. So baby, baby, if you're thirsty, let me make something clear. You find all the saints and sinners gathered down at the church of beer. Well, alright. That's right. Stand up for the congregation. Tell the good man your sins. When the keg is full, the tap is flowing, everybody wins. Yeah! We got pale air to wet your whistle. We got stouts if you want a meal. We don't need a little money to pay your tab. Well, the collection plate's right here. So baby, baby, if you're thirsty, let me make something clear. You find all the saints and sinners gathered down at the church of beer. That's right. All the monks gonna sing it now. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Church of beer. Oh, maybe you feel a little down on your luck and you don't know what to do. Well, let me tell you, there's nothing like a good beer in your hand to make your troubles melt away. Come on down to the Church of Beer and let us make you feel good. We don't ask for much, we just want you to follow these 10 simple brewmandments. And they go a little something like this. 10! Thou shalt always tip thy server. 9! Thou shalt have a designated driver. 8! Before thou wastest, thou shalt taste it. 7! Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's pint. 6! Thou shalt clean thy draft lines regularly. 5! Thou shalt not frost thy glassware. 4! Thou shalt pour thy beer in the appropriate glassware. 3! Beer is superior to wine as a cheese accompaniment. 2! Moderation is thy master. Thou shalt not binge. 1! Thou shalt not drink yellow mass-produced flavorless mackerel brewed swill. Yes, baby, baby, if you're thirsty, let me make something clear. You find all.
Fire in the hole, cocksuckers.